Since the 1960s, dozens of satellites belonging to foreign nations such as America, Britain and Italy have been launched in Kenya. The country has been slow to develop its own space program, but that's starting to change. Last year, Kenya saw its first satellite launched, and there are plans to deploy another within the next 2 years. Emmanuel Igunza has more on Kenya's expanding space program.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kenya has its eyes firmly set on space. After years of delays and debates, it now has a fully fledged national space agency that will coordinate all space programs. Last May, Kenya made a significant step.
Okay, congratulations.
It launched its first satellite into space. The nano satellite, which cost $1 million, was created by scientists from the University of Nairobi and was deployed from the Japanese module of the International Space Station. It was a hugely significant moment that was celebrated across the country.
Jumbo, Merhaba, Ora, congratulations, dear colleagues from Kenya, Turkey, Costa Rica, for the successful satellite deployment mission from the ISS.
I think we have taken much longer than we should have. Kenya entered into an agreement with Italy about the Malindi satellite station in 1964. But I think we are now of age. It may have taken us 50 years from the 60s to this point, but I think this is when the country is now ripe to start harnessing what space has to offer.
We have all green light.
But Kenya is no stranger to satellites launched by other countries on its own soil.
The rocket is armed.
Since the 60s and 70s, countries like Italy, US and UK have used the Luigi Broglio Space Center in the coastal town of Malindi to carry out more than 27 takeoffs.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, 0.
This included Uhuru, the world's first satellite dedicated to celestial X-ray astronomy, launched in 1970 by the help of NASA and Italian engineers. Kenya's space agency says it wants to use that rich history, the lessons learned, and its strategic geographic location on the equator to eventually launch more sophisticated satellites that can help improve data collection on everything from agriculture to natural disaster management.
Using space-derived information, we are able to tell, for example, the acreage of maize, for example. And we are able to say that in this season, we expect that we are going to harvest this number of bags. So we are able to tell citizens that this year we have got a shortage of maize, for example, and therefore ask them to plant more maize in the subsequent years.
And to do that, it will have to inspire a new generation of scientists from universities like this one in order to drive its ambitious space goals.
It's amazing when the whole idea of data was started being spoken in the US, we are all at the same space, and even Africa was there. With the innovation, you're seeing how our young people are actually innovating and coming up with creative ideas, which are being bought by also big industries. And if we can actually start internalizing, what resources do we have? Just like when we say we had resources of natural resources in the soil, we now have the resources in the space. And this resource in the space, how are we going to manage it in order for us to reach where the rest of the world is?
A big challenge, no doubt, that requires billions in investments and commitment, but one which could help Kenya's next phase of development take off.
Emmanuel Igunza there with that report on Kenya's expanding space program.